and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We need a motion to adopt the consent agenda as an order of business. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And then we'll need to approve the minutes from February 20th, 2018 Board of Education meeting. We'll also need to approve the financial report for the period of July 1st, 2017 through February 28th, 2018, and approve the bills for the period of February 1st, 2018 through February 28th, 2018 in the amount of $2,080,414.01.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Legislative update. I wasn't able to meet the meeting, but Carrie?
Yes, actually, we did meet yesterday with the legislators. They are not in regular session, but the Assembly is back in a special session, and I know that the Senate is just finishing up. And really, our conversation all morning focused around the governor's proposal for his school safety plan, and where it was going and what the difference was between the Assembly and the Senate and the governor's proposal. Basically, it includes money for grants, creating a position for a school safety officer in the Department of Justice, a position in the Department of Justice. Also giving some support for school safety plans and school training. So it was a really good conversation, and as I was watching everything come out today, I can see some of our feedback was actually hitting some of the Senate proposals and stuff. So it might not have just been us, but could have been other people who gave that feedback too. But it seemed as though things were actually rolling along pretty well, and I was happy to see some of that. Again, we really are very, very lucky to have the legislators that sit in the room and listen to us. I do see changes in things because of our conversation, so that's great. But that was really the gist of our conversation, and that's what we have. So, okay.
Thank you, Carrie. Any questions for Carrie? Moving on, Academic Pillar of Excellence. Dan, you want to?
Yes, we have a special group here tonight that is going to be talking about something that we're very excited about, and I don't think I'm going to steal any of their thunder. I'm going to let them come up, and I think we'll bring our high school folks up first, and they'll talk a little bit, and then introduce our guests, and they'll tell you all about something fantastic that's happening because of a public-private partnership that we continue to value in Plymouth. So come on up. Or you can all come up together. Maybe you've got a plan.
We're going to let Mark go first.
It wasn't your plan.
We're going to let Mark go first.
Okay.
We'll let him.
Hi, I'm Mark Fike, from resident of Plymouth. I work for Kohler Company as the Director of Operations Support Engineering for the engine plant, so I get kind of all over the world. Paul Thyssen, who couldn't be here tonight, is kind of my other. He works in my group, but he's done a lot of the things we're going to talk about here tonight. But we had to put him on a plane a couple weeks ago to spend a couple weeks in China, and he just got back, so he's a little jet-lagged here. So he said, asked me if I could just get a pass. So, as you know, I participate in the workforce strategy development at Kohler Company. As you all know, it's been pounded into the schools about the need for skilled trades, people that want to go into manufacturing, ag, anything that's really technical education. And Kohler does a lot of these type of things like STEM tours, and they participate in robotics and Lego. They fund that. They do, I know, job shadowing through here. We've even got a person as an intern in high school right now in our plant. He works 3 hours a day, I think. So they do a lot of things, and I've seen the STEM tours, and it's kids walking through this factory for the first time. If you've been through factories, it's like, and I've been through many, it's like, what did I just get to see? I mean, what can I remember of it? So as I got further down the road working in the group, I come up with the idea that I'd like to collaborate with Plymouth, who's my home school. I live in this community, and Paul Thyssen was the same way. When I brought him in, he was very excited to do something. But first of all, manufacturing, we need to get good people coming out of school and get them exposed to these, because manufacturing is, you can see a lot of other jobs, but when you look at manufacturing, you see four walls and you don't know what's inside there. We need to get them into there so they can start to see, touch it. And a STEM tour is a good start, but we're trying to do something even more than that. And they're good careers. I mean, there's lots of different jobs for different abilities and interests of individuals. And strong schools make for strong communities. That is something that's very dear to me. So the next slide here is, in 16, I met with the tech ed instructors, and I knew just Greg, and I've met the other two fellows, and I'll have to say you have a very talented group of tech ed people. It's very exciting to work with these guys. And in 2017, we had some more meetings with Dan and Jennifer and the group, and we kind of brainstormed what could we do, whether it's in-kind, meaning resources to teach a class, before we even talked about any type of investments or grants. So it's kind of like crawl, walk, run type of a plan. And we come down with three things: problem-solving methodology, instruction of 8 to 10 weeks as part of a tech ed class. And I know they've probably had a lot of people come and visit them before, so I wanted to get something that was going to start very quickly, so we were actually doing something, not talking about doing something. So by the end of January, we had a class going that was integrated into some of the tech ed class, where we actually used part of Kohler as the extension of their lab. And then the next one was participate in supporting the Tech Ed Club race car project. Weren't exactly sure how we were going to do that, but that was another one. And then after that was to start looking at a manufacturing technology. What is the next thing that we want to do for Plymouth to advance their manufacturing? So you can just shift that slide. So these are the results. Class started in January 17, and we repeated again in September 2018. We used actual problems that were studied and resolved at Kohler Engines, so there was no make-believe thing. These are actual problems that were working with engines and stuff that Paul had worked through already. We used the Kohler Engine Labs as extensions of tech facilities. Some of the things they get to see there, there's no way anybody in any school could afford that type of equipment. They were exposed to application of statistics. I think there's some more opportunities there to integrate with the statistics and the math group as we move along here. Product design prints, they got to see blueprints and tolerancing. Not every part is made exactly the same. The manufacturing environments and various jobs in manufacturing, such as quality techs and running inspection equipment, to tool and die makers, to development techs. So they got to see all these people in action in the plant, much more effective than just walking through the plant. And that instruction again was by Paul Thyssen. So then the race car, they came up with, and I don't know how they found this, but they got a Kohler engine. It was a single-cylinder engine, and Paul was coming in here on a weekly basis, so we said, well, we'll take the engine and we'll tune it on our dynamometer in our tech lab, development lab, and had that race team come over there and see how this is all done. And we had an actual Plymouth grad that's employed as an engineering technician participated with us in this. So that was pretty neat. He even knew some of the kids, I guess, that were still at Plymouth High. And I believe we took, what did you take?
We took first in our class.
First in the class, and I think third overall. And that was the smallest displacement engine in the group. I'm not sure exactly what they did. And this year we're supplying a new twin-cylinder engine for their next 2018 car that they're developing, and we'll do a very similar thing into the labs again. Engineers came out to the racetrack that day and during our lunch hour, and we were able to watch their cars race. So it was pretty neat to see that type of participation from Kohler engineers. And then the next step for robotics automation, that's something that when I first started this is what I was looking that I wanted to do. And then when they started talking about their long-term strategic plan, robots came, that's what they wanted to do next. So I said, oh, this is going to be a good fit. So we are investigating the cost for the curriculum training, and this is what we're going to get. Kohler has agreed, not only agreed, but they've already made payment of $65,000 for a robotics automation cell at Plymouth. It is an industrial robot. It is small, but there are very small robots and there are very big robots. This here is an industrial robot like you'd find, we have some at Kohler that size. It is designed for the classroom where the voltage is the correct voltage for your classroom. You don't have to have special high voltage requirements, and it's all together. It's on wheels, and you can move it around to wherever you want to use it. So I'm very pleased of being able to get this through their Kohler Company's grant program. I think it'll be very exciting for the tech ed people, the students that get to use it, and being able to expose these students to more opportunities in manufacturing, because that is the wave of the future. People aren't going to be parts loaders. They're going to manage automation systems. The robots are going to do the work. But you have to be good enough to understand how to operate robots and problem solving, which that boiled up to the top, because that is one of the most needed things we find is people can't really have a methodology to problem solve. That was why we picked that first, along with a lot of other things where they'd get to touch things in our plant. And so I'm here to inform the board that this is well underway. The stuff has been ordered. And I'll let these guys, they kind of know the schedule. I do have a handout because I know that's kind of small, but for those that would just like to see a little bit closer picture and some of the details, I'd like to pass those along. You can just...
And I guess just to piggyback on what Mark stated with Mr. Thiessen, who came in, he came into our capstone engineering course and did the problem-solving, I guess you'd say, sessions, because he was there for 10 weeks, and took the kids, like Mark said, very real-world scenarios and statistics, and very good for what they're doing. That's kind of a research and development class where they are going to be trying to design or innovate a new product. And so the problem-solving skills that they gather from him are used extensively throughout the year. And then is there?
Well, and I guess we can take questions too. With the implementation of the robot, we're looking at, and we've kind of had discussions whether this should be focused as, robot programming and programming logic controls as a specific standalone course. We thought, we're really trying to reach a broader stroke of student, have more students using this. So we're looking at trying to implement it in our engineering curriculum, in autos, in welding, in manufacturing, and reach a larger number of students and get them the exposure to it. So that's kind of where we're going after the instructor training, is seeing how we can fit this into our individual classes and reach a wide swatch of students versus, the students that know that they're on a career path to robotic programming, which may be a much smaller number.
I'd just like to add, once these guys get, sorry, go ahead. Okay.
Go ahead.
I just want to add that this is robot, we talk about robot programming, but when you put an automation system, there's various parts of the system, and they're not all one expertise. Like you have a controls engineer, you have a robot programming engineer, you have an end of tool designer that designs the tool to pick the part up. That's more of a mechanical design. Then you have a robot programmer that will program the points of the robot. But then there's the controls engineer that will connect the robot with the other equipment and all that communication to their programmable logic controllers. So I see down the road, once we start, crawl, walk, run, that you could have a whole process here of controls, programming the robot, and end effector design to whatever you want to pick up. Somebody's got to design it, and you got the equipment to build it, and you got the CAD to design it. So on a much smaller scale, it's what an automation integrator would be doing.
One of the things that I just saw that I was thinking would be nice if you could help our students with something like a simple pick-and-place program in order to operate our HOSs. You pick whatever project the students determine to pick up, and then it would place into the HOS in the exact spot all the time, this type of thing, and teach them how to program that, because that would not only be beneficial for our students, but also beneficial for Kohler, because I'm sure in the future you're going to have robotics pick and place in your CNCs too.
Right, that's the whole idea of basically you'll start out that way, doing some picking and touch points. And this also has some very unique things on it. It's got a 2D camera, so it takes a picture of the part before it sees it, or before it picks it up. That we got with it. It also has, we don't have to do fencing, any type of robots of that nature. You have to be fenced. This one here has scanning, so that if you break it, the thing shuts down, and you're able to fold the thing up so you can go through doorways. You can have 110 voltage. So it was really designed by Fanuc for education, and Fanuc is probably the biggest robot manufacturer in the world, of which Kohler is standardized to. You'll see a lot of yellow there.
And one of the other, like along the lines of, the cells and being able to put it into the CNC machine, part of where we're going with or driving the curriculum towards is the steps that lead up to the programming of the robotic arm itself. That is the safety engaged? Is the door open on the machine? And so we have like simulations set up for that where we can check switches that will transfer very easily into down the road when we're looking at loading our CNC machines or doing things that are more cell-based.
Yeah.
So we're working on that logic at a very elementary level to start, and then going towards
Okay.
that.
That sounds great. I think that's exactly what we would need.
Well,
Yes, very much so.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
The piece I would add to just another opportunity to cross groups and drawing more students is that we're adding the statistics course
Right.
to the math curriculum next year. So that's just another opportunity, whether it's with the robot or some of the other problem-solving curriculum, to take kids further and maybe draw in some students who haven't been involved.
One of the basics on the program, because it has a camera, would you be able to program or teach our students how to program it to identify a piece, a square from a circle?
Absolutely.
Okay. So it'd pass over the circle and pick up the square if we wanted it to, or something like that.
Correct.
That would be really.
Yeah. Yeah. So in our gifts tonight, we'll be accepting, hopefully, the second half.
Otherwise, what part of that doesn't come in the box?
I think Carrie, the check has probably been cashed.
And we just, we can't be grateful enough for it, because you certainly have seen something, and you met with these wonderful teachers, and you're just making things happen for our kids. So thank you.
I'd just like to echo also that it's not just about the robot. I mean,
Right.
it's about Paul and
Yes.
Mark and the three of you and the connection and everybody working together.
Yep.
And the team that drove and raced and built the car, and all of that comes together because of the initial walk and the chance that we talked and kept moving, and so we really appreciate that opportunity, and I know you do too. We're working together to build a strong community through our kids.
And Dan, I'm going to take that one step further. We have a strong strategic plan that incorporates partnerships and business partnerships and community engagement. And so even at a board level, the support for this is what trickles down to make these things happen too. So That's great.
No, it gives me great pleasure to be here as a community member to talk about this, and I'm very thankful for Kohler and their community stewardship, and that's all over the world, from water filters to all kinds of things that they participate in.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would also, I don't know, I think this would be the proper time to say this, but because of our relationship with Kohler, it also has expanded. Our name has made it all the way down to Arkansas.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I forgot.
We have, what,
Yes.
10 to 12 Southerners coming up here in the middle of April to see our facility and spend the day with us they're trying to start a tech ed program to
Yep.
kind of
Yes.
collaborate.
Yeah.
I
Well, you
forgot. Thank you, Greg, for bringing that up. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, that's from somebody from our shared and planned actually contacted me. They got my name from somebody else about how excited they were, and they use a lot of injection molding, so they're getting something through the Cincinnati Millicron is the manufacturer for this plastic injection molding, and they're getting something through that to the tech school. Kohler's funding a lot of it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. The next one is Tracy. Consider approval for school courses of 2018 summer school.
Yep, Tracy's not available to be here tonight, but she did come to our committee of the whole meeting and presented, and I did include the full summer school course guide in the packet. So tonight, what we would need to do is we would need to approve that course guide as presented at the committee of the whole meeting, but Tracy also said that she communicated with Dan, so Dan would be able to answer any questions you might have on the courses.
Okay, so we'll need a motion to approve summer school course classes for 2018.
So moved. Second.
Now, do we have any questions of Dan?
Anything about Gingham?
Is this micro? Yeah.
Is this considered Gingham?
Okay.
We need a fashion expert.
Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Finance, Buildings and Grounds, Facility Subcommittee update. Bob?
So we're in the final stretch. April 3rd is the referendum on the facilities. And so the Facilities Subcommittee, the DLT, they've been out with community meetings, and I voted, and providing informational meetings about the facility studies. So the most recent ones were at Fairview and Parkview. I think you have one more coming up with women's group. Okay. So we've tried to do a lot of outreach through the committee to get the word out and allow the community to come forward with their questions and concerns about the referendum. You can go to the website. What has happened is, as frequently as questions come out of these meetings, we posted those on the website, so you can go there and find a lot of information and see what people are asking and see what the responses are. So I encourage everyone to go out and vote, and if you have questions or need more information, please go to the website and take a look, or call the district office. All right?
Thank you, Bob. And we need to consider a proposal to replace the boiler at Horizon Elementary School. And John?
One of the projects that has been discussed for use of our land sale money was to replace the boiler at Horizon School. We received 3 proposals from our request for proposals we put out. Mannenbach Mechanical, who we've done a lot of work with in the district, was the low bidder, and we are confident that they will provide quality service, and we would advise the board to accept that bid.
So we'll need a motion to accept the...
I move that we accept the bid from Mannenbach.
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion? We had a discussion at the committee of the whole meeting, but is there any more questions to bring up for?
No, I'm confident. We've done a lot of work with them, and that's important. So they've got a good track record, and since they're the lowest bid.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Then consider gifts and corresponding budget adjustments. Carrie?
All right, tonight we're going to have first consider the second donation of $32,500 from Kohler Foundation for a robot to be used in the Science and Technology Center, a donation of $250 from Sargento Foods to offset the cost of transportation to Six Flags Great America for Physics Day, a donation of $250 from Matt Gabriels of Gabe's Construction to offset the cost of transportation to Six Flags Great America for Physics Day, a donation of $100 from Francis Chiropractic to offset the cost of transportation to Six Flags Great America for Physics Day, a donation of $282.12 from Riverview Student Council for bus transportation to Generations, and a donation of $174.80 from Fairview PTO for bus transportation to Above and Beyond Museum. So I would recommend that we accept these gifts and their corresponding budget adjustments.
We need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion on this?
Yeah, just the one question, $32,500 from the Kohler Company.
Yes.
The number up on his slide was 60.
But it came in
Yes.
two.
Yeah, the
Yeah, it
first
was
donation we approved in
We already
December.
approved that.
Yeah, they wanted it to be one each year.
Making sure
Yeah.
we got this covered.
Okay.
So we approved the first donation in December.
Good, thank you.
Any more questions? All those in favor? Aye. Item number 8, did anybody sign up? I don't believe so for public participation. Moving on, board liaison reports, community ed, Sally.
We meet next week, I think it is. But there's still stuff going on in community ed. If you want to take any classes, there will be one tomorrow night. It's called Soothe the Inflammation Fire, and that's talking about your body being inflamed and how that causes so much havoc and pain. If you're interested in that, call community ed tomorrow morning and find out if there's opening. Also, there's a class Tuesday, March 27th to teach you how to make mozzarella and ricotta cheese. And then if you never scuba dive, you can learn how to do that at our swimming pool here on Saturday, March 24th. And this is for ages 10 and up. Any question? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sally. And the foundation, Bob.
Foundation, a few things that are going on. One is the deadline for grants has been extended. So if there's anyone that would like to put forward a proposal, write a grant, we are looking for more people to participate. The grant program, we've seen the success of it. We increased the amount of money that the foundation will be giving this year to $20,000. So we really encourage teachers and staff that would like to write a grant to please get that entered in, and we'll get that under consideration. In addition to that, Scholarship Committee has begun their work designating what amounts will be available for scholarships in the coming spring. And then finally, Party with a Purpose, which is the main fundraiser for the foundation that happens every 2 years. That will be occurring this fall, and the work on that has already begun. And anyone who's interested in participating in Party with a Purpose, donating money, or being just part of the party, please contact the foundation. We're always looking for help. So that's my report. Question?
Any questions?
You said the deadline for grant applications extended?
Is extended.
Till when, do you know?
April something.
We extended it, what, 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
Six.
Six.
Okay. It's after spring break, so everyone has time during spring break to put something,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
Bring it on.
Okay. Family Resource Center, Jamie?
Okay, always a lot going on over there, but just a couple highlights. If you get on the website, familyresourcesheboygan.org, they've got a newsletter that kind of gives some different tips and some good information on there. Tip of the month basically talks about screen time in your children and how important it is to gauge their screen time. So they've got a whole article on there basically talking about kids under 18 months should really have little screen time. And then there's a chart that kind of breaks out different age groups and the amount of screen time that is recommended for them. And also, instead of screen time, they've got an interesting read. It's called the Vitamin N Challenge, which, since it's springtime and the weather's getting a lot better, vitamin N is basically nature. So there's a book out there, 500 Ways to Enrich the Health and Happiness of Your Family and Community, a field guide for fun in nature. And there's all sorts of ideas to go out instead of maybe spending time in front of the television or whatever other video games you've got, to go out and take advantage of all the things that are going to start blooming and brewing out there in nature in the next, hopefully, 6 months. For 6 months, not in 6 months, but for 6 months.
All right.
And then the other thing I wanted to bring up is there's a couple of upcoming Parenting the Love and Logic Way classes, which is a 4-part series. There's one that starts April 5th. That's let's see, I'm not sure what that day of the week that is, but April 5th, and then once a week for 4 weeks. And there's also one May 10th. The one April 5th is in Sheboygan at Lakeshore Community Health Center, Healthcare, on Seaman Avenue, and the other one is in Elkhart Lake at the elementary school. But basically what that program does is it helps you, it gives you techniques to learn how to discipline your children without losing your cool and without losing the love and respect from your children. Great series. It's $20. You can sign up on the website. I think March 29th is registration deadline for that April session. And the $20 does include a workbook. They do ask that you commit to the 4 sessions because it is important to do all 4 of them. Really interesting and well worth your time. It's some tools you can use not only for your young children but also your older children. And then just a couple other things. Of course, there's the Little Movers and Playgroup and Learners. And then there's one other thing that's new, Kids in the Kitchen. And that's going to be held from 5:30 to 7 in the Culinary Arts Room here at the high school. It's $5 per family. And that basically is going to give you ideas. They're working with Elizabeth Tennyson. I'm not sure if I pronounced her last name right. And Renee, that they're going to give you ideas how to get your kids to eat some different things and more nutritious things. So bring your family. You'll be actually cooking something that night, as well as getting some other great ideas of how to increase the nutritional value of and maybe variety of what your kids are eating at home.
Jamie, the Kids in the Kitchen, do they sign up through FRC or how?
I'm not really sure. I'd have to look on the website.
Because that would not, even though it's being held here.
I think it's on the Family Resource Center website, if I'm not mistaken.
And then the in book, is it a book? Is it a booklet? Is it what?
It's a book. It's an actual book written. I don't have the author's name down, but if you go to the newsletter, they have a whole little article about the vitamin N. They call it the Vitamin N Challenge.
Okay.
So basically, it's a nature challenge to get out and about.
Thank you.
And that's all I have, unless anyone has any other questions. Always a lot of great things, though. And if you, like I said, the website, familyresourcesheboygan.org, or you can call them at 920-892-6706.
Thank you, Jamie. The next is Professional Development Council. Richard?
Professional development is a constant in this district, and we're seeing it supported by the veteran teachers. And a good example of that is what they call the balanced literacy approach in helping kids with literacy. It's a method that focuses on all aspects of student learnings to improve their literacy skills, and it helps the teachers diagnose where the students are at and where they need to improve and grow, as well as then able to differentiate while challenging all the kids at the various levels. So this balanced literacy approach has been in the district for quite some time. But the cool thing about this is that our veteran teachers, the ones who've been around for a while, one of the high value to them is to be able to have input. And they said, you know what, our newer teachers, we haven't introduced them to this yet. So they're taking this curriculum and instruction tool, and the veteran teachers are passing it on to the newer teachers in our school district. So, attending workshops, using the professional development days, time before, during, after school, building units that push them toward these goals in literacy. And so it's just pretty awesome to see those veteran teachers helping the newer teachers. Now, that's really cool. The norm around here is professional development. It just is the norm. But there's a real cool thing that's been being recognized, our innovative partnership with UW Green Bay in the cohort program. So on Wednesday night, May 2nd, school board members are invited, along with people who are current past cohort and other educators.
An invite too, just so you're aware. So
it'll be over at the UW Sheboygan campus Wednesday night, May 2nd, to celebrate this unique partnership that we have. It's one of those things that Plymouth is leading the way in, and UW Green Bay is hosting that to highlight what is happening. So every day, all day, professional development is going on, but then we get a chance to celebrate these extra, incredible things that are happening in professional development. So just exciting, really exciting to see how everybody in our district, top to bottom, is working at getting better, becoming their best.
Thank you, Richard. Any questions for Richard? Then moving on, we have personnel. Carrie, would you take this, please?
Yes, actually, we do have some personnel that we need to consider and to approve tonight. First of all, the board will consider resignation request from Sandy Nicholson, German teacher at Plymouth High School, effective at the end of the 2017-18 school year. Sandra has served the Plymouth School District for 11 years. Also, the board will consider the resignation request from Mary Strong, English teacher at Plymouth High School, effective at the end of the 2017-18 school year. Mary has served the district for 19 years. And the board will consider the retirement request from Kay Hannes, special education teacher at Plymouth High School, effective at the end of the 2017-18 school year. Kay has served the Plymouth School District for 22 years. Those are the resignations and retirements. We can approve those, and then we'll move on to the others.
So we need a motion.
I so move that we approve the retirement of these teachers.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
And then we also, tonight, the board will consider the approval of a 100% prorated contract for Leroy Schwab to teach fourth grade at Fairview Elementary School for the remainder of the 2017-18 school year. Leroy has 25 years of teaching experience with the Sheboygan Falls School District and has been long-term subbing in this position for a while now. So right now, we're just giving him a contract to the end of the year for this position. So.
Need a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve that contract for Leroy Schwab.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
And the last request is that the board will consider a one-year leave of absence for Josie Howe, first grade teacher at Parkview Elementary School for the 2018-19 school year. Josie has chosen to spend some time raising her family, and we have done this in the past, and the contractual agreement is that if we approve this, the teacher is allowed to come back to the district, but not necessarily in the position in which the teacher left. So there will be a position there, but not necessarily always the same position, and Josie's aware of that.
So we need a motion?
I move that we accept the leave of absence request.
Second that.
Now, is there any discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. And the support staff update, Carrie.
Yep, tonight we have Patricia Hicks, server cook at Plymouth High School, who has submitted her resignation. Patricia has served the Plymouth School District for 12 years. Angela Gelzer has been hired as a special education aide at Horizon Elementary School. Bobby Nordlander has been hired as a special education aide at Fairview Elementary School. Stephanie Bach has been hired as a special education aide at Horizon Elementary School. And Robin Rosenthal has been hired as a special education aide at Horizon Elementary School.
Okay. Thank you, Carrie. Then we'll move on to the travel request.
Yeah, tonight we have 3 different travel requests. The first travel request is from Kelly O'Shalik, 7th and 8th grade teacher at Riverview Middle School, to take students to Washington, D.C., June 17th through the 21st, 2019. This request is in line with board policies, and expenses will be the responsibility of the students and/or parents through fundraising. So that would be for next summer. The request is being asked so that they can start working with parents.
Oh.
Yes.
What, I apologize, I do not know what she teaches.
Kelly teaches social studies and language arts at middle school. 7th and 8th grade social studies and language arts. Typically, this particular request comes from Julie Overby, but Kelly O'Shalik is sort of taking it over now. So.
Okay.
Okay, so we need a motion for this one.
I make a motion that we approve that travel request for Kelly O'Shannessy.
Second.
Okay, now is there any further discussion on it? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye, please. Aye.
And the board also will consider the out-of-state travel for Paul Krasaniak, physics teacher at Plymouth High School, to take students to Six Flags Great America in Gurnee, Illinois, on May 11th, 2018. This request is in line with the board policies. Expenses will be the responsibility of students and/or their parents through fundraising and also donations made to the physics class. And I believe Paul came last year and talked a little bit about this.
Great program. I make a motion that we approve that travel request for
Second.
Paul Krasaniak.
Is there any discussion on this?
Can we go to?
I bet you could if you chaperone.
Yeah. All in favor? Aye.
On that day, the park is actually not open. It's only schools, so you can't get in unless you got to work your way to becoming a chaperone, so it's a relationship
Get on
issue,
the
I
list.
think.
Yeah, right.
I think it needs school board oversight.
There we go. And the last request comes from Sandy Nicholson, German teacher at Plymouth High School, and this is for the German exchange program, which we have participated in before, and it is to take our students to Germany for 3 weeks during the summer of 2019 to participate in the exchange program with Kurt Schumacher Schule in Carbon, Germany. And this request is in line with board policies, and the expenses will be the responsibility of the students and or their parents. And this is also the situation where we go there and then they come here. So it's an exchange. So I do have more information if you would like. The one thing that Sandy did let me know is that even though we are approving her letter or her resignation, she says that the trip will be directed by Miss Jessica Barrington until another teacher comes, and then the teacher who replaces Sandy will work with Jessica. So
I make a motion we approve this.
Second.
Is there any discussion on this?
And the reason, the same thing here, is just the fundraising involved.
yeah, actually she was wanting to meet with parents next week, I believe, or this week even. So yeah, because I was going to wait till next month because it came late, and then she said as long as it's going to be yes, and I thought, well, I better take it.
They're planning, before we go.
Oh.
So it's helpful for the Germans to know that we're committed.
So they can plan it.
Yeah.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. There's nobody on the consent agenda. The President's report. I am pleased to report that the Governor signed the bill for the low pay, low expenditure school boards. This is really beneficial to us, and it's helpful. John, I don't know if you wanted to mention about any other information with this? Or?
Well, I mean, the calculation right now is we receive an additional roughly $218 per student.
Per student.
Rather, $281 per student, based on our 3-year rolling average. So it's a chunk of change. I mean, certainly.
It's very helpful for low spending districts like us, and we've been working hard to get this catch up. It's a little bit, but a little bit at a time. We're not going to give it back. And I'd like to thank, and a special thanks to our state, our legislative people, our Assembly and our state senator who have been working hard with us so that this bill would pass.
And is this an ongoing or just through a budget cycle?
Well, it's ongoing for 5 years. However, the first year is the largest, where the bottom districts move from $91 to $9,400 per student, and then it's $100 thereafter for 4 more years.
Very similar to our resolution that went forward before. Very similar, yeah.
Good job, Tim.
Very similar.
Yes, it's very good. So, Carrie.
Yep, actually, we are just entering the spring sports season, so there is not a lot to report on the athletics front, but we do have a lot of other great things going on. First of all, congratulations to Ryan Rush once again, our ground crew director. He did receive the Field of Excellence Award for Pioneer Athletics. You remember last year he came because he received the award. We got it one more time. So this is the second year, and we were recognized for our excellence in maintaining our football, soccer, and baseball fields. So that's pretty amazing. Also, congratulations to Mac Mella, who was named honorable mention to the All-State Football as a linebacker. And our National Business Honor Society inducted 20 new members. Our automotive technology students placed 8th at the Top Tech Challenge, and we had 250 students that participated in the solo ensemble, with 90 events advancing to state. That's very amazing. Again, I think that this is, due to all the outstanding teachers we have in our music program here in the Plymouth School District. So, Jason, Sarah, Rachel and Amanda, and everyone else who really puts a lot of time into the whole music program. It's pretty amazing. So, and as far as dates to remember, March 26th through the 30th is spring break. April 9th, we have the Committee of the Whole meeting at 5 p.m. I do want to announce that on April 12th, we do have Arkansas coming here to visit our tech ed department with Kohler Company, so that'll be a great day. April 17th is the National Honor Society induction ceremony at 10 a.m. in the Plymouth High School auditorium. April 17th is our next Board of Education meeting at 7 o'clock in the Plymouth High School amphitheater. And April 18th is the National Honors Banquet at 6:30 at Amore. I did put a calendar of events that will be happening until the end of the year. So please take a look at them, especially the Academic Honors Banquet. If all the board is invited to come to that. So if you would like to come, please let Katrina know so that we can let the guidance department know, and because for seating and everything. So if you are choosing to come to these events, just give Katrina a call, and she'll make sure the proper people know that you're going to be there. Okay.
Sure. I didn't mention the dedication of the performance stage.
Oh, I thought I did that last month, but...
Oh, did you? Well, because it actually happened.
Oh, okay.
So,
Right.
And I should have brought it up in the foundation.
Yeah, we had an amazing, thank you, Bob. Thank you. We had an amazing musical, and on Saturday night of the musical, we were able to honor Mr. Herb Stoltenberg for his 50th performance here on the Plymouth stage. And anyone who was here, just, it was full of alumni who were benefited by Herb's directorship. And it was a great evening. The play was wonderful, the dedication was wonderful, and I just thank everybody for doing it and thanking Herb for everything that he's done.
And if I could plug the foundation.
Oh, and the foundation.
We did support the fundraising for this event and actually basically a matching piece. So money contributed to the Fine Arts Fund on the foundation website. Up to the first $5,000 the foundation will match. And
Yep.
the money is being raised for that, as well as money was raised separately for the dedication,
Yes.
plaque on the wall, and Herb's name on the stage, and it's very well done. Foundation did a lot of nice work, and a group of performing art parents and cohorts and talents. A lot of people did a lot of hard work to make this all happen. So a good thing for the arts at Plymouth.
Right. And thank you to Tim and Patty Talon for moving it forward, and thank you to the board for approving it.
Yes.
So, yes, it was a great evening.
Well, what's great about that program is it does affect, and so many people are involved, so many kids are involved.
Yeah.
As was shown, so many from the past, how much it benefited them.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to keep supporting.
It is. Okay. Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for letting me interrupt.
Anytime.
We ever stopped?
I'm good. I am good, and there is no closed session tonight.
Okay, one more thing to the public. During spring break, our students are going to be out on the road, and maybe some of the students will start early cross-country training. Please keep an eye out for them, and to our students, be careful. Look both ways when you're crossing. We don't want any injuries.
Right. Our track team is out there running now. So.
You betcha.
Yep.
So, we need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? Aye.